Absolutely. We make our beliefs very early on. We start to form beliefs, and once we form beliefs, those beliefs begin to form us. And when you understand, first you make your beliefs, and then your beliefs make you, you might as well make your beliefs amazing, because your mind truly does not care for what you're told. It is right or wrong, good or bad, healthy or unhealthy. Here's an example. Every time I'm stressed, I get the flu. Every time I'm anxious, I get migraines. That's a belief that will make you if you keep it going. Or you could say, I do get stressed, but the human body is designed for stress, and rather like a battery, as long as I get some sleep, I'm fine, and I can take on a lot. I catch up with rest later. So you always have a choice. I ate that cake, now I'm going to gain a pound. Or here's a better belief. I ate cake. I don't eat cake a lot, but my metabolic rate will adjust and burn that off. It doesn't matter what you say, it becomes true. In fact, scientists have discovered that people who say, if I look at a cake, I can get fat, actually can, because the stress of believing that causes your body to make cortisol, and cortisol helps your body lay down fat. So you can think yourself thin, you can think yourself fat. I know that sounds extraordinary. I remember years ago going out to dinner with some friends, and 3 of them got food poisoning, and the 4th one, who's very posh, said, my body would not dare to reject any food I choose to put. I thought, what a great belief he's got. My body would never reject food. And you see, mothers pass on these beliefs to their children. Oh, he's got a nervous stomach. Oh no, she's not good with that. She's scared of us. Our family, we're not very confident people. And children pick up these beliefs, and then they turn into their beliefs. And instead of saying to a child, oh, don't worry, darling, I couldn't do math. I was terrible at spelling, just like you. I could never speak to friends because I was really shy, which becomes a fixed belief. It's a habit of thought that becomes real. Better to say, darling, you've got such a great personality. You're warm, you're funny. People like you. Look how much I like you. Everyone will like you like I like you. Many people, without knowing it, wire their children for failure and all kinds of problems. Many teachers who say, well, the brains must have run out when they got to you, or, oh, your sister's so much smarter than you. What happened to you? It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's very important to understand dialoguing with yourself in a super effective way to get super effective results. It's not hard when you know how.
You know, Marissa, you just made me realize that how sensitive a child's mind is. So I want you guys to just think about this. So when I was young, I remember every time my parents or relatives would introduce me to someone else, they would say, oh, and this is my son Vishen, he's really shy. And they kept reinforcing that and reinforcing that and reinforcing that. And my entire teenage life, I just had a fear of people. I never went out publicly. I never went to parties. I was the loner. In my mind, it just became that I was incompetent with people, that I was too shy. And to this day, when I am at family gatherings, even though I put on big events and I'm a social butterfly with my friends and I can be on stage and speak, when I go back to my family, at a family gathering, I never dance. I sit by myself. I don't talk to other people. You just made me realize that, holy cow, I've been living that belief as a child well into my 40s. And I could never understand why I'm such a different person at family gatherings than I am at, you know, when I don't have family around. And I'm beginning to see that maybe I got accidentally programmed.
You did.
So those of you who are watching, I want you to think about this as well. Is there any belief that you might accidentally be installing on your kid? And remember, our beliefs really can have a profound impact on our lives. My son was once diagnosed as being asthmatic by a doctor, right? And this was a doctor in our home city. And so for 8 months we had to put my son on breathalyzers, and we told him, and unfortunately he was too young to understand asthma, but we had to make him breathe with that device, which is dangerous because the side effect is it stunts a kid's growth. And then 8 months later, we decided to get a second opinion, and the second doctor, who was a far more qualified doctor, said, Derek, your son doesn't have asthma. And all of a sudden, what happened is we stopped treating him like he was an asthmatic kid. And you know what? His health improved. Now he just doesn't have asthma. So what was interesting was we believed our kid has asthma because of a bad diagnosis from a doctor, and he showed the signs of asthma. But when we got the good diagnosis from a truly competent doctor and we stopped believing he had asthma, his breathing problems stopped.
Yeah.
They literally stopped. It was as if our beliefs impacted our son. Now I know this has been studied. It's called the PYGMALION effect.
Sure.
And what the scientists found is that you can even have school teachers. So they did a test where they told a particular group of school teachers that there were a handful of kids in their classroom who were identified with incredibly high IQ. But the teachers were not to give any sign to these kids that they had high IQ. It was just for the teacher's knowledge. Now, it was a fake study.
Of course.
These kids that were identified didn't have any differential in their IQ compared to the other kids. But what happened was at the end of the year, the kids who were identified with high IQ, they started showing higher academic performance. They were never told. The teachers, though, believed that these kids were special, and so the kids became special. Now, when you think about this study, commonly called the PYGMALION effect, think about what you could be doing to your kids as parents, and think about what your parents may have accidentally done to you when you were a child. Now, the good news is, a lot of these beliefs we can help clear when you start practicing programs such as rapid transformational hypnotherapy, because it is easy to go back in and shift these beliefs. And I gotta seek your help with the shyness one now.
Yeah.
Now let's go on to idea number 4.